Generally, you'll see a locust swarm from a distance, and it looks like a cloud of smoke lying low over the horizon. As it gets closer, the swarm actually rolls as it's moving along. Locusts near the front of the swarm will land, and locusts at the rear of the swarm will be jumping up and joining the ones in the air. So as many locusts as you see in the air, there will be an equal number probably in the grass underneath that swarm. A swarm can contain as many as 40 billion individuals, and it can stretch for up to 20 miles.
But it's not just the numbers of locusts that creates the problem, it's the size of their appetites. Their powerful jaws cut through vegetation at an incredible rate. In one day, a single swarm can consume 100,000 tons of food, enough to feed 1 million people for nearly a year.
A swarm of 30 million locusts can move by you in about 10 minutes. And the sound is kind of a hissing sound. You hear a shh sound. If you close your eyes, you'll be able to hear that.
These swarms can move across entire continents, traveling with the wind and behaving more like weather than wildlife. In 1988, one swarm actually rode a hurricane across the Atlantic from Africa to the Caribbean. But wherever they come to land, locusts can sweep across the landscape and strip the countryside bare. But what if locusts struck not farmland, but a major city? When an insect swarm hit Houston, the result was chaos.
What happens when you get a locust swarm going over a major metropolitan area? You get lots of people freaking out. You'd have lots of phones ringing in the police office, the politician's office. You'd have people skidding on them in the streets, in their cars, because the layer on the road would be so thick that you would be sliding around if you were driving over them. If a swarm of locusts descended on Central Park in New York City, they would roost and that night feed. The next morning you would get up and there would be no leaves left on the trees, no grass left, and people would probably be running around screaming.
A locust invasion in Central Park is unlikely, but the destruction they cause in other parts of the world is all too real. Wherever locusts swarm, the results are deadly.